Hello YouTube, you got Video Game House here today with another deck profile video from the Journey Together. Now, with Journey Together's release, obviously the rotation has happened. All gold bordered cards have finally been rotated out. So, I know there's a real issue with meta right now. People aren't exactly sure what's going to be top meta. There's some people saying Dragapult, some other things. But I really wanted to bring attention to Mamoswine EX. Now, I did only pick this deck up not too long ago, played quite a few games with it, and realistically, this is a lot scarier than you guys would think. Maximum damage from Mamoswine is 380. The way that Mamoswine EX works is that its ability states you can just search a Pokemon out of your deck, put it in your hand. That's it. Very simple, but honestly, very effective ability. Its attack is 2 fighting energy, 180 damage, but it does 40 extra damage for every stage 2 on your bench. And there's very many ways in the deck in order to set up a lot of stage 2 Pokemon very, very quickly. But even without a stage 2 Pokemon, this guy is already swinging for 2 energy, 180. Pretty strong. So let's go over the deck a little bit so I can give an idea as to how we're playing this deck. The Swinub line is 4-2-3. We got the Pidgey with the 2-1-1, and we got the Torchic with the 2-1-2 with Blaziken. Now, Blaziken's ability is actually more crucial than you'd expect. Its ability states that you're allowed to just take one of your energies from your discard pile, any colored energy, basic, and toss it onto any one of your Pokemon that you feel like using. Funny enough, since Mamoswine is only 2 energies, that makes it very easy to attach one from discard and one from hand, and that's all you would need in order to attack. That's why you need to run so few energies, because you only ever need 1 energy to come to your hand, and you're good to go. So, the deck runs in a very funny, interesting kind of way. Since we obviously hit max 380, we don't need the maximum damage on the board, so having 1 slot open for Budew, 1 slot open for Fezandipiti, basically works really well in our favor. Obviously, if we want to go second with this deck, that's why we run 4 Arven, we run the Precious Trolley, we run TM Evolution ×2, so we can try and, like, get that guaranteed on turn 1. 4 Rare Candies to try and get out Mamoswine and Pidgeot and Blaziken all as early as possible. The Luxray's ability is if we're losing, we're allowed to play it from our hand, but it's just a free stage 2. But we do still run the Renewal Energy, because again, if we fall behind, we are still able to attack with it as a single prize trade. Does help us try and win back the mid-game, because granted, everything else is going to be a 2 prize Pokemon that we're going to lose, is going to be 2 prizers, so Luxray kind of messes with the prize count a little bit. The 4 Rare Candies, 2 Buddy-Buddy Poffins, most of these are just normally placed in. We do run 1 Stadium. The Stadium is only good after your Budew has been used, so basically after turn 1, you can toss this down, and it screws up your opponents much more so than it screws up you, because obviously you're running multiple stage 2 Pokemon. 4 Arven, 3 Iono, 2 bosses, 2 Jacq, and a Turo scenario. The Turo scenario, funny enough, I've used more picking up the Fezandipiti or the Budew, just so I can put down another stage 2, more so than I have been using it to pick up Mamoswine. Mamoswine having 340 HP just makes him really hard to knock out, but like, it's unnecessary to really ever pick it up, because if they have to hit you twice, and you're hitting them for 300, you're basically knocking out anything. Pidgeot, making it very easy to go into your deck, just find the boss's orders, or if you're behind, find the counter catcher, or Arven to find counter catcher, to just pull up whatever you need, and then just whack it across the face, instantly blowing anything up. We do run the Big Air Balloon for a free retreat for any of our stage 2 Pokemon. Our entire board is stage 2s. The Rock Chestplate, which makes your 340 HP Mamoswine the highest HP you can have in the game, base HP, to basically have a 40 damage wall, where if you're getting hit with a 200 damaging move, you survive 3 hits now, because it's 160, 160, and then they have to hit you again because they're missing out on 40 damage both times. And 2 TMEOs in order to get us that easy evolution on 1. If they can't follow it up, and you can evolve in Mamoswine, Mamoswine says, cool, you can search another Pokemon out of your deck. Search the other Pokemon you evolve. Now you have Mamoswine and Pidgeot on the board. Pidgeot allows you to search another card. Searches out, I don't know, a Rare Candy, or a Mamoswine, or whatever you don't have in your hand, because you have 4 Rare Candies, or Arven to search out the Rare Candy, and a tool. Like, the combos in this deck are so incredible, and it just felt so clean every single time that we did get to play this list. So I'm going to show you what it does do, and I have a game in here that's also a loss, I will admit early, but it's to show off that live is still kind of broken, or maybe chat can find out what I did wrong or what I'm not seeing. Let's get straight on over to the video, and I'll show you what's up. Alright, so as you guys can see, these guys down here, these little guys down here, only show up whenever it is a stream night. We did stream this, so we recorded our gameplay, we showed it off with chat, we worked with chat to build the deck up, made it a little stronger, and it was quite a lot of fun. We streamed this just Tuesday on April Fool's Day, actually, funny enough. This very first game isn't exactly to show off a match between me and my opponent. It's more so to show off what the deck is capable of, even with a bad start. Like, Swinub, obviously not great for our opponent, but Artisan plus the Swinub's attack for Call for Family sets up. This is a different variant of the Swinub or the Mamoswine deck, but we don't really get to see theirs so much as we start setting up our own side of the board. We throw an energy to the discard pile. If we find a rare candy, we're able to evolve a Torchic into a Blaziken and use Blaziken's ability. We hit an Iono just to try and get there. We ended up actually getting there, and we're able to actually just use the normal combo of the deck to have Blaziken attack. Obviously, now I have a 200 damaging move. I'm set up. They're not. And so they decide that's all she really wrote with here because it doesn't matter. That bosses actually does fail because we actually have a third energy in the discard pile. So Mamoswine is able to take the, Blaziken can take that energy out, put it on the Fezandipiti, and we switch back out and just hit for 200 again. Basically, we'll just steamroll into winning the game at some point. Like I said, we always want to try and go second here, so it's just a little bit better off for us if we go second. Because we're able to use Arven to get out the Precious Trolley to get our whole bench set up and get an Evolution TM in order to evolve some of our Pokemon. So this game I only bring up because you guys might be seeing this a little bit more often now. Bronzor has Evolution Press, or Bronzong, which stops you from playing any of your evolution Pokemon from your hand. Now, this is where I would bring in... Usually I wouldn't record a loss, but I figured that this was a very good opportunity for people to learn. You can use TM Evolution because it doesn't evolve from your hand, which will bypass the Bronzong's attack. Normally, if you are losing, the Luxray in our deck is actually able to get played from the hand for free. It just says if your opponent has less prizes than you do, you're able to play this card from your hand. So Luxray would also get around the whole it can't evolve thing because it doesn't evolve. It just plays as a stage 2 Pokemon. The reason we played this match out for so long was because my thought process was he'll knock something out. I put down the Luxray, give it the Miracle Energy, and we can start swinging for 150 until my energy doesn't work anymore. So there it is, Evolution Jammer. I thought it was Evolution Press. Evolution Jammer states, which you guys can pause it in the video just to see what it does or look it up on your own. It just states that your opponent will not be allowed to evolve Pokemon from cards in their hand on the next turn. But showing this off, TM Evolution actually does work. So we have Pidgeotto. We were going to go for Pidgeot EX in order to try and find more cards that would help us, such as bosses or energies or TM Evolution to make it easy. Unfortunately, that just did not pan out properly. Our opponent's combination is just one Frostlass and a Munkidori to move the damage counters off every single turn to get a little bit of extra damage, where Evolution Jammer will add 30, so that way he's able to continuously push 30 damage, and then the Munkidori pushes 20 to 30 damage every single turn. And Jamming Tower, on their side, also stops TM Evolution. We do have a stadium in play, so our turn was going to be finding the stadium, finding the TM Evolution, and evolving 2 of our Pokemon to make it all work in our favor. But clearly that wasn't happening. So we were just going to stall out, let things die. So we were hoping he kills the Swinub here, or knocks out the Swinub, sorry. And then just push for, my Ultra Ball into the Luxray to just play it on the board. For some reason, it wasn't working. My thought process is that Live is broken, and technically read the Evolution Jammer as countering the stage 2 from going onto my board state because it reads it as evolving a Pokemon. So he has 5 prizes, and I have 6 left, so Luxray should say I should be allowed to play it onto the bench, give it a triple energy, freely retreat the Pidgeotto, and then attack, knocking out that Bronzong. But it wouldn't let me play it. And then we literally got another one in our hand after the Iono just to see if I could do it again. It wasn't like the card was broken. It wasn't like the effects weren't working. It's just that there's nothing on his board that's stopping an ability. There's nothing on the board that's stopping Luxray from being able to get played. So the game just didn't want to work. Maybe chat knows something that I don't. Please let me know in the comments if you do. But Live is broken, but that should have worked. It isn't. It's just reminding everyone that there is a way out of that matchup in case you get evolution blocked by using TM Evolution and by using Luxray. Let them take 2-3 prizes. Put down Luxray. Luxray is able to take a knockout on the Bronzong, knock out of the Bronzong, knock out the Bronzong, and then they can't stop you from evolving, and then you can just play your game normally. Right now, one of the biggest decks growing in use is Terrapagos with a Noctowl. My personal 2 cents is that is not a very good deck, but if everyone else is saying it, you're going to be running into it. My 2 cents to add, if you're running into it a lot, is add a Klefki to your deck. If Klefki is your active, they cannot Fan Rotom. And then they just crumple really hard. Luckily, we opened an Iono, and our board state looks okay. We have Jacq, we have Ultra Ball, so we're able to continue to move forward. The Terrapagos decklist no longer having the double turbo energy anymore makes it a little bit harder for them to actually get attacks off. So it felt a little nicer that we can still play the game. Granted, he couldn't use Trumpet, he couldn't use he could have used Crespin, I suppose, but after getting hit, we don't know what he had. We're just able to use Jacq, get some evolution pieces, so we have Ultra Ball set up, but we're just going to have to give up on Torchic. Because no matter which Pokemon he leaves on the board right now, if he had, like, Bosses knocks out Pidgeot, and Bosses knock out Piloswine, we can still Ultra Ball, and then Piloswine, or Mamoswine at that point, could find us a Pokemon, which can get us Pidgeot EX. Or Pidgeot can search out an Ultra Ball, or Mamoswine, or whatever, to get Mamoswine on the board, and then Mamoswine's effect activates. So we have both routes of getting everything out of just 2 cards. So pretty strong. My opponent wants to keep his Pokemon safe, so he just throws in the Fan Rotom because it's still able to get the attack off instead of, you know, putting up a Pokemon that is weak to fighting, by the way. And we just happen to top deck Mamoswine, making everything just feel better. Mamoswine searches out the Pidgeot. Pidgeot allows us a quick search. We can start setting up more things. We're behind a prize, so Luxray was a considerable option for a moment. And we just decided to go with the Arven. Arven gives us our Precious Trolley instead of searching the Precious Trolley, and allows our Mamoswine to now just have 380 HP. Yeah, pretty good. Terrapagos is weak to fighting, so obviously, even without another stage 2 on the board, we have super effective damage. Fezandipiti also weak to fighting, so, and again, we don't need a second stage 2 on the board, and we're already taking knockouts. The only one that has a resistance to fighting, as of this moment, is Latias, go figure. So, if we have one stage 2 on the board, we're hitting for 220 damage, but because of Latias' resistance, we actually cannot take it out. So we have to actually still push to get more on the board. We have Arven in our hand for Rare Candy, we have Mamoswine to search out any stage 2 Pokemon we want, or any Pokemon in general, and we also have Pidgeot. So no matter what we do, we're able to search out pieces. And then he Iono'd me into the best thing possible, Rare Candy and Jacq. So, this is just going to allow me to do everything I want. Piloswine, Mamoswine, so I can evolve one of these guys into the middle evolution. Rare Candy, the other one, so now I have another Mamoswine to search out more cards. We drew into Combusken, which allows us to get the middle evolution for Blaziken already set up. Searching out every card out of our deck just to get them out of our deck, realistically. And then we still have the opportunity to go get an item, a trainer, a supporter, whatever we want. hey, you have too many cards on that bench. Let's go with Pokemon League headquarters against the Terrapagos basic deck, meaning they need one full extra energy in order to even attack. It was, wow. It felt so good to just obliterate our opponent. Like, everything was weak to fighting. It didn't matter if they had the Bouffalance shield. It didn't matter if they had the Bravery charms. Mamoswine was just the thickest of tank at 340 HP and stood there walloping our opponent. And every turn that he can't get rid of a Mamoswine, it gives us another Pokemon. And that one extra Pokemon can evolve something on our bench, which helps us get another Pokemon. Or Pidgeot, which gets us another item, or another tool, or another supporter. Or we evolve Blaziken, who also can just set himself up with a free energy from the discard pile. So, hey, Blaziken can also attack here if we really want it to. So let's just use Pidgeot and look to see if we have the fire energy. Oh, look, there it is. I do make a couple of opportunity plays here because obviously just throw away the fighting energy, get a random Pokemon. Spirit gets the fire energy or the fighting energy that we had and then just retreats anyway. Because instead of just doing that, we wanted to bring out our Mamoswine again. Because I wanted to save an energy in case my opponent wanted to use the boss's order strategy on, say, Swinub or something. If I don't have a way to retreat the Pokemon, say, you know, Turo or Turo or the Balloon or something along those lines, Blaziken can give an energy to your active Pokemon, and then you manually can attach a secondary one if you need to, and retreat almost every Pokemon. The only ones you cannot retreat easily are Mamoswine, but if your opponent is effectively going to bring in a Mamoswine from your bench to the active, it's like, okay, if you don't knock this out, I have ways to get more energies, and then I will just attack you. We run an Earthen Vessel with Arven to search it out. We use Pidgeot to search out a fighting energy, and then we can just use the Blaziken to put an energy on it from the discard pile. That's why we leave energy in the discard pile, to make things work better. It just felt so one-sided in this matchup because he couldn't do anything, and now he just screws up because Pokemon League headquarters says that your attacks need one more energy. So if Terrapagos starts becoming big, Mamoswine is a hard counter. Just saying. Alright, and I believe this is our last match to just show off how good Mamoswine really can be again, even in, like, bad matchups. Also, if you are luckier than I am, like, realistically, some games you get really good, like, opening hands, but other games you really don't. For me, you know, you run 4 Arven, you run 2 Pokégear 3.0s, and you just want to hit one of those. Like, the deck goes good going second. It's still good going first because you do run Buddy-Buddy Poffin and Precious Trolley, but, like, it does feel kind of bad when you just don't open those things. But we opened perfectly here, so I wanted to show off how strong the deck can be on, like, a beautiful opening. We checked the deck list just to make sure we have everything and want to leave one open slot, potentially thinking about bringing in the Budew, but if, you know, they knock out our active, we can put in the Luxray for free, so we leave some extra spaces open. He went first and put Pokemon down, and we just had the Piloswines. So one Mamoswine, and we can search out another Mamoswine, and then we can use that Mamoswine to search out a third Pokemon, and we have a Rare Candy in our hand. So we go Pidgeot, Rare Candy Pidgeot, and then Pidgeot searches out another Pokemon, like Combusken, to set up a third Pokemon. We're expecting our Swinub to not survive this turn, but because it did, and it used an item instead, it used item locking, it's like, okay, cool, don't care. So Jacq allows us to go get double Mamoswine, which allows us to go get a whole bunch of other things. Say Pidgeotto, so we can evolve Pidgeotto normally. Say Mamoswine again, so we can go get Combusken, saving our Rare Candy in case we need it, because we do still have a Swinub in the active. The smartest move I probably could have made there was Mamoswine into another Mamoswine and Rare Candy into the Mamoswine, but I wanted to get the Budew on the board to item lock him, because if his board state was bad, he doesn't have Gardevoir, he doesn't have search options yet. We can still stall him out. And it allows me to get more turns to find my own stuff, because now I have double Mamoswine. If I item lock him for one turn, and that would stop him from doing a lot of, you know, actual problems to me, it gives me my Mamoswine's turn to set up Blaziken, set up Pidgeot EX, and potentially go for the third Mamoswine so I can Rare Candy the Mamoswine, and then my full bench is set up. And then I won't need Budew anymore. My opponent does make a very weird play with this one, though, where he actually goes with the Drifloon play, which I didn't quite understand. Just to go get rid of my Budew, but now we both have access to item cards, so, like... Oh, I realize I've just said something now that I didn't mean to. The turn before, I couldn't use that Rare Candy. And I knew that when I was making this video, and I just forgot for that moment. Yeah, so he's putting up damage, balloon blasting me for 90 because we're just kind of chilling at this point, and we get another stage 2 on the board, and another stage 2 on the board, and another stage 2 on the board. So, you guys we already know that because we retreated earlier, we have 2 energies in the discard pile, so now we just check to make sure we have Earthen Vessel. Unfortunately, we don't, which sucks. But we know we have energies in the discard pile, so we just get 1 energy, because that's all I need. And then just Blaziken, energy, push other energy. And we remove him. Like I said, it's still just strong enough as it is. We were trying for many turns in a row to bring up that Gardevoir just by searching a boss's orders and getting a knockout, but we couldn't keep the energies the way we needed to, so it was kind of a painful move, but like this Clefairy play, I thought we were fine. I was wrong. He's able to hit 220 damage with Clefairy. It's not obviously super effective or anything like that, but he's got the Monkey Dory, and somehow, I don't know if he planned the 90 plus the 30 plus the 220 into a perfect knockout or something, but that was really smart of him, and he was able to knock out my Mamoswine. Unfortunately, because he was able to knock out the Mamoswine, I have to do the same like play that I did turns before, and it kind of sucks. We did actually get an item usage, so we were able to do the Mamoswine into Rare Candy to get another Mamoswine on the board, so good me. And again, since we don't have the Earthen Vessel, we have to just manually go get an energy. And this is where did I have my smart move here where I was like, you know what we need to do? Set up another Blaziken because I'm going to run out of energies to use in my deck pretty soon. So I just went with this, and then, you know, we have Ultra Ball into Rare Candy with Pidgeot, so we can go get Ultra Ball to go get another Blaziken, then we have both Blazikens. It's a rare matchup where we get both Blazikens, but if you have both, you no longer need energy anymore because you just take 2 energies out of the discard pile, put them on your active Mamoswine, and then punch your opponent in the face. You no longer need energies because they're both energy generators. I think this deck, since it doesn't have a Terra, it works really well against most of the counterbox list. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an out for Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. That's the biggest threat to the deck. I was trying to figure out other things, but I didn't see counterbox all that much, so I was never super afraid of seeing it. So I'd rather just not try and figure out a whole thing around the counterbox Cornerstone Mask list and just try and play the game with it the way that it was. If anyone can think of a way to out the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon with Mamoswine's list, go ahead, let me know in the comments below. And as you can see, we kind of put him in a checkmate board. There was no way he was taking 3 prizes. No way he was going to put me in a bad situation that I couldn't get myself out of. Because we have 2 Blazikens on the board and a discarded energy, we're able to get ourselves back. One more time, if you guys want to see the deck list, this is it. Deck list will also be found in the description below. So I do hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys learned something about the deck and how to play around certain things. If you did, or you find better ways out of the deck, please let me know. I figure adding a Super Rod somewhere might be pretty cool. Adding a Night Stretcher somewhere could also be pretty cool. Adding a second Stadium, pretty good. But the deck's felt really, really strong. I think it is a 70% win rate against most things you find. Like if you played 10 rounds in a row on random ladder, random decks, you'll probably hit about a 70% win rate. But I do feel like it can be stronger. I do feel like you can build it specific to your locals because Pidgeot is easy to get out and Mamoswine is just big damage, so you can like kind of finagle things a little bit. You can probably add like things like maybe Ting Lu EX or something like that, depending on what ability Pokemon your opponent has. So Let me know what you guys find, if you find anything fun with Mamoswine. If you guys want to check me out on my Discord, I'm going to have that link in the description as well, along with the days and times that I stream my events every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday over at twitch.tv/videogamehouse. So I hope to see you guys there. Good night, everybody.